Today's journey is not just about visiting a mosque, it's about going back in time. We're heading towards one of the oldest mosques in the entire Caucasus region, located in the historic city of Shamakhi, Azerbaijan. But before we reach there, we're making a stop that most tourists usually ignore. A local roadside market, raw, simple, and real. Because honestly, sometimes the most interesting part of a trip isn't the destination, it's everything that happens on the way. As we drive away from the modern city vibes, the landscape slowly changes. Tall buildings disappear and are replaced by open land, mountains, and quiet villages. This is the side of Azerbaijan that many people don't see. Shamakhi itself is not just another city. It's one of the oldest cities in the region, with a history going back thousands of years. It used to be a major cultural and trading center, even serving as the capital of the Shirvan Kingdom centuries ago. So this road we're on right now is not just a road, it's a path through history. Before reaching Shamakhi, we stopped at a place called Kayalai Market. Now this is not your typical tourist market. No fancy design, no aesthetic Instagram setup. Just local people, local products, and real everyday life. And honestly, that's what makes it interesting. Here you'll find fresh fruits, dried goods, local honey, and sometimes even homemade products that you won't find in big supermarkets. Everything feels unfiltered, the kind of place where locals actually shop, not perform for tourists. This is the kind of stop that many travel vloggers skip, because it doesn't look luxurious. Because it doesn't look luxurious. Prices here are usually cheaper than the city, and the quality, surprisingly fresh. You can actually talk to the sellers and get a small glimpse of local life. And that's something number 5-star experience can give you. After spending some time at the market, we continued our journey towards Shamakhi. The road becomes more scenic, rolling hills, open skies. And that peaceful silence that you rarely get in big cities. There's something about road trips like this. You're not just traveling to a place, you're slowly disconnecting from your normal life. And finally, we arrive at the destination, the iconic Juma Mosque Shamakhi. At first glance, it looks simple, but don't let that simplicity fool you. this place carries over 1,000 years of history. There's a certain calmness here. Not crowded, not chaotic, just quiet and peaceful. When people visit Juma Mosque Shamakhi, most of them just see an old building, but there are details here that almost nobody talks about. First, this mosque was not originally built as a single unified hall like many modern mosques. Historically, it had 3 separate prayer halls. Each one was used by different communities within the city. This reflects something interesting about Shamakhi's past. It was a diverse and active cultural center, not just a small religious town. Another thing most people don't realize, this mosque has been rebuilt multiple times, not just because of age, but because Shamakhi itself sits in an earthquake-prone region. One of the most devastating earthquakes in the 19th century almost completely destroyed the city, and this mosque had to rise again from the ruins. So what you see today is actually a combination of ancient foundation and modern restoration. It's not frozen in time, it's a structure that has adapted, survived, and evolved. Even the architecture you see now was carefully restored to preserve its original Islamic design, while reinforcing it with modern engineering to withstand future earthquakes. And here's something subtle, but powerful. Unlike many famous mosques around the world that focus on decoration and grandeur, this one feels more minimal and grounded. That simplicity is intentional. It reflects early Islamic architecture in the region, where function and community mattered more than visual luxury. Another detail most tourists miss. Shamakhi used to be a major stop along historical trade routes. So this mosque wasn't just for locals. Travelers, merchants, scholars. People from different regions would pass through here, and this mosque became a central point for gathering, prayer, and exchange of ideas.
Selam.
So, in a way, this place was not just spiritual, it was also social and intellectual. And if you stand here quietly for a moment, it's easy to imagine how many different lives have passed through this space, over more than 1,000 years. What makes Juma Mosque Shamakhi different from famous landmarks is that it doesn't try to impress you. It doesn't need to. Its value comes from everything it has survived, not how it looks on camera. After spending time at the mosque, something completely different. From history to nature. The next destination is called Icherisheher Waterfall, which literally means Seven Beauties Waterfall. And honestly, after visiting a place that's over 1,000 years old, switching to something natural like this just feels right. The drive itself is not very long, but what I like about this part of Azerbaijan is, even short drives don't feel boring. You'll notice the scenery slowly changing again. More trees, more greenery, and the air already feels a bit fresher compared to the city. And this is something I didn't expect before coming here. Azerbaijan is not just dry landscapes or modern buildings. There's actually a lot of natural beauty if you go outside the main city. Also, just a quick tip. If you're planning to come here, try to wear comfortable shoes, because this place is not just a stand and look type of attraction. You actually have to walk and climb a bit. And trust me, it's not as easy as it sounds when you're not prepared. So after a short drive, we finally reached Icherisheher Waterfall. First impression, it feels more like a hidden forest spot than a typical tourist attraction. You don't immediately see the waterfall. You have to go inside, walk through trees, and follow the path. And that already makes the experience a bit more exciting. So here's the reality that many people don't tell you. To actually see all levels of this waterfall, you need to climb stairs, and not just a few steps. There are multiple levels, and it can get tiring, especially if you're not used to it. But at the same time, that's what makes it interesting. The waterfall is called Seven Beauties because it has multiple layers, but not all of them are easily accessible. As you go higher, the path becomes a bit more narrow, a bit more slippery, so you need to be careful. Also, depending on the season, the water flow can be very strong, or a bit lighter, so don't expect it to always look exactly like what you see on Instagram. One interesting thing about Icherisheher Waterfall is that it's located in a forested mountainous area near Gabala, which is actually one of the most popular nature destinations in Azerbaijan. This whole region is known for cooler weather, green landscapes, and mountain views. So if you're someone who gets tired of city travel, this is a good place to balance your trip. And the water here comes directly from the mountains, which is why it feels very fresh and cold. You'll also notice something. It's not overly commercialized. There are some small shops and basic facilities, but it still feels quite natural compared to big tourist attractions. Now let me be honest here. This place is beautiful, but it's not for everyone. If you don't like walking, climbing, or a bit of physical effort, you might not enjoy it fully, and during busy times, it can get a bit crowded. But if you come at the right time and take it slow, it can actually be very peaceful. So overall, going from a 1,000-year-old mosque to a natural waterfall like this, it really shows how diverse Azerbaijan is. You get history, you get culture, and you also get nature, all in one trip. And honestly, that's what makes travel more interesting. Not just visiting famous places, but experiencing different sides of a country. So if you're planning your trip, don't just stay in one type of experience. Mix it up, because sometimes the contrast is what makes the journey memorable. After the waterfall, we got back on the road again. And this time, the vibe completely changes. We're now heading towards Nowar Lake, also known as Nowar Gil. And compared to everything we've seen today, this one is more about slowing down. The drive itself is actually really nice. You'll see mountains in the background, open landscapes, and small villages along the way. And this is something I've noticed about this region. Every short drive feels like a different scene. You go from historic sites to waterfalls, and now to a calm lake surrounded by mountains. It's not the kind of trip where you rush. It's more like you just keep discovering different moods. And honestly, after climbing stairs at the waterfall, a peaceful place like this is exactly what you need. So if you're planning your trip, try to arrange your route like this. Active place first, relaxing place after, because your energy will thank you later. And finally, we arrived at Nowar Lake. First impression? It's calm. Like really calm. No loud crowds, no chaos, just water, mountains, and silence. And you can immediately feel the difference compared to the waterfall. This place is not about excitement. It's about slowing down. So here's a bit of background. Nowar Lake is located near Gabala, one of the most popular nature destinations in Azerbaijan. The lake is surrounded by the Caucasus Mountains, which is why the view here looks so peaceful and balanced. It's not a natural wild lake in the middle of nowhere. It's actually been developed to support tourism, but still managed to keep a natural feel. And that's the good part, because it's accessible, but not overly commercial. Now, if you're wondering what you can actually do here, there are a few simple but enjoyable activities. First, boat rides. You can rent small pedal boats or rowboats and just go around the lake. And honestly, this is probably the best way to experience this place, because once you're on the water, everything feels even quieter. Second, walking around the lake. There are paths where you can just walk, take photos, or just sit and relax. Third, small cafes and food spots nearby, so you can actually spend a bit more time here, not just take photos and leave. And this is important, because this place is better when you don't rush it. What I personally like about this place is, it doesn't try too hard. It's not dramatic like a waterfall. It's not historical like a mosque. It's just simple and peaceful. And sometimes, that's exactly what you need during a trip. You can just sit here, do nothing, and still feel like it's worth it. Here's a small interesting detail. Because of its location near the mountains, the temperature here is usually cooler than the city. So even during warmer days, this place can feel surprisingly comfortable. And another thing, this area becomes especially beautiful during different seasons. In summer, it's green and fresh. In autumn, the colors change completely. And in colder months, it can feel almost like a different place. So depending on when you visit, you might get a totally different experience. Alright, next up. And this one is a big one. We're heading to Tufandag Mountain Resort. If you think Azerbaijan is just city plus desert vibes, this place will change your mind completely. The drive there is actually part of the experience. You'll start noticing the mountains getting closer, the air feeling cooler, and everything looking more like a proper mountain destination. And this is what makes Gabala region interesting. Within one day you can go from mosque, to waterfall, to lake, and now, to a mountain resort. Also, quick tip, if you're coming here, check the weather before, because your experience here depends a lot on the season. In winter, it turns into a full ski resort. In summer, it becomes more about cable cars and views. So yeah, same place, completely different vibe. And we've arrived at Tufandag Mountain Resort. First thing you'll notice, this place looks very organized, clean, structured, and definitely built for tourism. It doesn't feel local or raw like the market earlier. This is more like a proper resort setup. You've got hotels, restaurants, ticket counters, cable cars, everything in one place. So yeah, this is where things get a bit more premium. Let's talk about prices, because I know that's what most people want to know. For the cable car ride, prices usually range around 19 to 25 AZN for one level, around 35 to 45 AZN for multiple levels. And honestly, if you're coming here, don't just take the first level, go higher, because the higher you go, the better the view gets. For skiing in winter, rental prices for equipment can be around 25 to 40 AZN for basic gear. Ski passes can go higher depending on duration. So yeah, this place is not cheap, but it's not crazy expensive either. The main highlight here is definitely the cable car. You get into these cabins and slowly go up the mountain. And this is where it gets interesting, because the view keeps changing as you go higher. At the bottom, you see buildings and people. In the middle, more trees, more open space. And at the top, it's mostly mountains and sky. Also important, the ride is smooth, but if you're scared of heights, you might feel it a bit. But honestly, it's worth it. Winter, snow everywhere, skiing and snowboarding, full winter resort vibe. In summer, green mountains, hiking, sightseeing, cooler weather compared to city. You might get a totally different experience. So before you come, decide what kind of experience you want. Here's what you can actually do at Tufandag Mountain Resort. Number 1, cable car must do. Number 2, skiing seasonal. Number 3, walking around at the top stations. Number 4, taking photos. Obviously, and here's a tip most people don't mention, spend time at the top. Don't just go up, take photos and leave, because the higher stations are actually quieter, less crowded, and way more enjoyable. You can just sit, relax, and take your time. There are restaurants and cafes here, but expect resort pricing. So yeah, food is available, but not cheap. If you're trying to save money, better to eat before coming here. Facilities-wise, clean toilets, parking available, easy ticket system. So overall, it's tourist-friendly. this place is nice, but it depends on your expectations. If you're expecting something super wild and untouched, you might feel it's too developed. But if you want comfort, easy access, and good views, you'll enjoy it. And also, timing matters. If you come during peak hours, it can get crowded. So best time? Morning or late afternoon. At the end of a long day like this, honestly, all you want is just good food and a place to sit. So we came to Gabala's Resort Restaurant. First impression, it's more of a relaxed, local-style restaurant. Not too fancy, not too basic. And after a full day of traveling, this kind of place actually feels perfect. Let's talk about the food, because that's what really matters. Here, you'll usually find a mix of Azerbaijani dishes like grilled meat kebab, rice dishes, fresh salads, bread, and tea. And one thing about food in this region, it's simple, but filling. So if you're coming here, don't over-order at first. Price-wise, it's not super cheap, but definitely more affordable than resort restaurants. So compared to places like mountain resorts, this feels more reasonable. And honestly, after trying different places today, this is the kind of meal that just hits right. No rush, no noise, just sitting, eating, and finally relaxing. After dinner, we headed back to the hotel, and at this point, you can really feel the tiredness from the whole day. But it's the good kind of tired, the kind where you actually feel like you did something. Now let me be real about this whole trip. If you're expecting everything to be perfect, it's not. Some places are crowded, some things are a bit overpriced, and sometimes you get tired more than expected. But that's normal. So if you're planning to visit this part of Azerbaijan, try to combine places like this, because the real experience happens in between. And with that, that's the end of today's journey. Time to rest and get ready for the next one.